So, welcome back to part 2 of this video. In the first part, we looked at how to find how to draw or generate these lines parallel to get the shortest horizontal distance, an auxiliary view that is. Now, I wish to find the closest or shortest possible distance on the plan and also on the front elevation. So for this step, I must draw perpendicular lines through all these points. Yeah, perpendicular lines through all those points. That let me use green, this line with thickness. So for that, I'm going to draw perpendicular lines through all these points. So one line here, one here, one here, next one here, one here. Okay, so we have our perpendicular line. The next step is to establish my auxiliary inclined plane. So for that, I'm going to draw a line here. This line should be perpendicular to these lines. And I'm going to label this line x2, x2, let it be red. x2, y2, x2, y2, x2, y2. x2, y2. My next step is to transfer measurements from two planes back. So I'm drawing on this plane right here. So I need to step one plane, two plane back, and then transfer the measurements, the corresponding measurements from the x1, y1 to these points here. Looking at this, the distance from here to here is a little bit far. So what I could do, I could reduce distance here by bringing this line up a little bit. Yeah, that doesn't affect anything. So I'm going to draw a next line here, just temporarily. So this basically is my x1, y1 line that I pretty much subtract or extract a little piece here. So it will not change the orientation of these points pretty much. It will not. So my next step is to transfer this distance here, this distance from here onto the subsequent C line. So here is C, C comes here, and C goes up here. So I'm going to transfer this distance onto my C line from here to here, onto my C line. So starting here, let me use a different color line. That seems a little bit. All right, so let's use a different color. Let's use black and a different line with thickness. So let's go again. C here, comes here, starts here, and goes up to about here. Yeah. Yes. Let me try a different technique. Let's use my line. So this now is 92. It's important that you label as you go. So this now is C2, right? Very important that we label as we go. Over next step again is to transfer. Go to D, transfer this distance here, this distance from here to here. So let us track C line. C is here. No, that is D. That's point D. D is here. D starts here and the distance is about this much, yeah? Or is about that? Yes, that seems like it. Remember now, guys, you would not use guesstimation. You would use actual measurements, yes? I'm using zoom whiteboard. So this will not allow me to transfer exact measurements. Then join this point to that point to get my first line. Again, it's important to label as you go, all right? My next step is to transfer a prime distance, which is here. So again, I locate A. Which one is A? Which one is A? A, which will have been the outer one. A will have been here. So this distance to that seems to be about just about as much as we can get. That is A. And B, transfer B distance from here to there onto that. So we trace the B, go up here, start here, and we transfer B distance, which seems to be about that much, right? Yes. Then we join from here to this point. So I think this should be up a little bit more. X. So now here, at the point where both lines cross is the exact point which we should measure, all right? So once you have done that, my next step is to draw a line, draw a parallel line from here through to here. And here exactly, here is where the shortest horizontal distance should be at this point right here. Right here is where our shortest horizontal distance should be. I'm gonna use a different color. Probably this. So here should be your shortest horizontal distance. Yes. In this case, you would measure this distance and now that we have gotten this, our next move is to transfer this end and this end onto the plan. All right. So again, I'm gonna change to a different line. In this case, I want brown. So I'm gonna draw a parallel line, click here, draw a parallel line across here. That is one. Come across here. There. Then I'm gonna change my line weight thickness, my line color, and I'm gonna draw a line from here to there. So this is the shortest possible distance on the plan view. Now, to get the shortest distance on the front or elevation, we produce these points vertically upward, or they should be perpendicular to XY line. So let me change from that line weight to a different one. And this should be brown. So I draw a line from here vertically upward. From this line to that line. And another line from here. Bringing up to that. Again, they should be perpendicular there. So my next step now is to change to my line weight thickness and brighten up that line. So I then draw a line from here to like here. And this now becomes the shortest possible distance on the plan. Very important. Yeah. So you would need to dimension these. So you need to establish your dimension lines, your dimension line, measure across there, and state the value. Yeah, state the value for this. Yeah, dimension. You'd also need to dimension here and state the value for that. You then go to this and do the same thing. All right. So that's all there is for this. Remember, and the shortest possible distance, you must draw the lines perpendicular to these parallel lines. Yes, it's important to note that if you want, well, well, after we get these parallel lines, this part is consistent with shortest horizontal distance and closest possible distance. However, if you want to find the shortest horizontal distance, which is somewhat different from shortest possible distance, shortest horizontal distance, you must draw these points perpendicular to x1, y1, must be perpendicular to these points. Then you transfer the measurements from this plane, all right? And once you have done that, it will give you a point where both lines cross. Again, you will draw a line from here down through the pass through the parallel lines. Then you'd measure these measurements or this distance and state it. You would then produce those points across parallel to those lines to get across to the plan to get the shortest possible distance on the plan. Then project those points vertically upward onto the front to get that. All right, so that's all there is for skew line for this part of it, to find the shortest horizontal distance. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, share this video. I know quite a number of persons find this topic to be very challenging, so I decided to assist where I can. All right, remember to like and subscribe.